Hello and welcome. This session is going to focus on caring for your feet. So our feet do so much work for us. We walk around and live standing on our feet, but it's not often a part of our body that we spend a lot of time in self-care for. So we're going to spend a little bit of time today just giving some love and attention to our feet. And so you don't need anything. If you want to grab lotion, you can, but really just your feet and your hands. And then we will move a little bit, just doing some stretches on the feet. But we're going to start first with a self foot massage. So sit in any kind of comfortable position. You can be on the ground like I am, or you can be sitting on your couch. We will start to stretch and move eventually. And so you will want to be on a blanket or on your mat. But for right now, sitting on your couch or your bed is fine. And so let's just, for the sake of clarity, we'll start on the same foot together. So I'm starting with my right foot. I have grass in my feet. And you don't have to really know what you're doing as far as massage goes. You don't need to be concerned about pressure points in any way. You just want to do what feels good. And now if I was massaging somebody else's feet, I might not know what feels good for them in their feet and the amount of pressure. But the beautiful thing is you are massaging your own feet. And so you can sort of give yourself feedback as you're giving a foot massage about what feels good and what doesn't for you. So I'm going to guide you through it, but you can sort of do what feels best for you. So you're just going to start with your thumbs. I'm like cradling my right foot, and start with your thumbs right at your second and your third toe, right underneath your second and third toe, and just start to create little pressure points, moving your thumbs out to the sides of your feet. So you're just pressing in and back out. It's interesting. It's like we do think a lot about other parts of our body, that are much more visible to us typically. And so we see them and we know to care for those parts of our body, but our feet are so often at a place that we forget about, and we hold so much stress in the feet. So you can start to move those pressure points into like the ball of your foot. It's like I always know where the ball of my foot is because I have like a callus right in the middle of my foot where I put so much pressure when I walk. And then I'm going to start to move my thumbs more towards the center of my foot into the arch. And I'm just going to make long motions up with my thumbs. Yeah, one thumb and then the other thumb. And again, you play with the pressure. And if you're like, wow, there's like something there that doesn't feel good, or it feels really good, then you spend longer there or you move on. Yeah, moving more into the arch of your foot. And as we move more into nicer weather, hopefully it means that we get to be outside more and walking and using our feet even more. Good. And then work your way down to the heel. So for the heel, I'm going to use just one hand. So I'm going to cradle my foot with my right hand and use my left hand, and just use my pointer finger and my thumb to just work my way around the edge of the heel. And if you're like, I don't really know what you're saying, Jess, like it's not making sense to me, then you know what? You do what feels good in your feet. So you can find pressure points around the heel and just press your thumb into the heel. Good. And then take both feet again, make your way back up to your toes, and just start to reach each toe up. So I'm just pulling gently on each toe individually, lengthening the toes, pulling up. Yeah. I'll take my fingers, bring them in between the toes. And then just start to make circles in both directions with the toes. Good. And then I'm going to take my left foot down. I'm going to take the right ankle across the left thigh. And then I'm just going to turn my right ankle in both directions. So one direction, and then the other direction. Good. And then we'll switch sides. So now I'm massaging my left foot. And so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use my thumbs, start right at the second and third toe, and then just pressure points, moving out and then back in. And then you can really do this across the whole ball of your foot. Now, I'll be honest, I would prefer somebody else give me a foot massage, but that's not always possible. So, I'm happy with a self foot massage too. And then make your way just long strokes with your thumbs across the arch of your foot. And then you hold the foot in the left hand and just take the fingers around the edge of the heel. So I'm using the side of my pointer finger and my thumb to create pressure. And I'm just going to use my thumb to create pressure points around the heel. Again, without getting too caught up in like, what are all the pressure points? What's the reflexology? Just what feels good in your body. Do that. Good. And then coming back up to the toes and just using both hands to pull the toes straight up individually, lengthening. Good. And then bringing your fingers in between the toes, making circles with the toes. Other direction. And then bringing your right heel down. Left ankle goes across, and then turning the left ankle in both directions. Change directions. Good. Okay. From here, we're going to come into a stretch for the feet. So for most folks, we don't stretch the feet long. We tend to stretch the feet we shorten the tissues on the feet. Typically, in the way we walk, we'll shorten these tissues in this direction, so they're coming in like this. We don't stretch the feet out like this. And it's important that we can move our body in all ranges of motion. So this next stretch that we're going to do is going to focus on lengthening the foot through here. That also means because it's an unnatural way for us to move, it can feel a lot quickly. And so I'll show a couple different variations of it so that you can pick the point that you can stay in. And the point is for this not to be excruciating. There's no like winner or prize in any of that. But to be in a place where you feel something interesting happening in the bottoms of your feet, but also so that you can stay in the pose, right? It's interesting, you can stay, you're not sweating as you're in the shape. So you're going to start on all fours and then curl the toes under, okay? And then even get in and make sure the pinky toe is on the ground, okay? Because the pinky toes kind of will slide away from us. And then you're going to start to shift your hands and your butt back towards your heels. And so you'll keep going back until you get to a place where you can feel the bottoms of the feet start to stretch. Now, only because I have done this many, many times, it's fine for me to sit here like this for some period and it feels good. It did not always feel like that for me. So you'll find the place, maybe it's here and you might keep your hands on the ground. Maybe you're back here. Find the spot where you feel the stretch and you can stay for, about a minute. Okay, so you can feel the stretch in the tops of your feet, even in the toes. If you're familiar with Ujjayi breath, you can start to Ujjayi breathe and take the focus off your feet a little bit. And then you'll start to shift your weight forward, coming back onto your hands, flip over to the shoelace side of your feet, and then you're just gonna tap, tap, tap the tops of your feet as you press that out. And then from here, we're gonna stretch the other side of the feet, so the tops of the feet. So what that's gonna look like is you are going to keep sitting on the shoelace side of your feet. Take your hands down to the ground, and then you'll decide, so maybe you feel a stretch right here, sitting just on the tops of your feet. If it's going to take a little bit more to lengthen that top of your foot all the way up through your ankle, you'll start to lift the knees up to your degree. So this is about as far as it feels good for me. I'm getting a really nice stretch here, but some folks lift their knees up really, really high in this position. So you'll go to the spot that feels right for you. And we're just going to be here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back down. And then that's that. So that's a little self-care for your feet. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.